Volunteers TV show, inspiring change through action. Hello, viewers. You once again welcome to one of the most informative programs on our airwaves today, Volunteers TV show, here on Channel 1 Television. On Wednesday, 6th of August, a disaster struck Ghana. We all call it the Dark Wednesday, where Ghana lost 8 productive citizens, including 2 ministers of state. This has brought a lot of grief to all of us as a nation. We are very privileged today in a discussion with Professor Aaron Mike Oquaye, an astute barrister and former Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Prof, you are welcome to Volunteers Show.
Thank you very much.
On Channel 1 Television.
Fine. You are also welcome to my home.
Thank you very much, Prof. I know this is not a news to you. You have already heard about the disaster that has struck us as a nation. The nation losing 2 of its state ministers, other state officials, and also other staff of the Ghana Armed Forces. We would like to know from you, Prof. First of all, how did you receive this sudden news?
In fact, I heard it from others because I'm not very much on social media myself. So, secondary information. And at first, I just didn't want to believe it. So I started asking for confirmation, only for this to be confirmed. It's a big blow to our nation. It's a blow to all those in public service who have devoted their lives towards nation building, national affairs, as well as to our armed forces.
Sure.
Because this goes to the root of our military. So it is really a disaster of great proportions. And it is very appropriate that the president, in his wisdom, has really called for days of mourning and for flags to fly at half-mast. It is important on an occasion like this to extend condolences to His Excellency the President, who of course is the head of state, and particularly with the fact that his government is rocked by this unfortunate event. And then to our soldiers, it's not often that we hear such things happening. And of course, to everybody else, all of us as a nation, it's a national disaster. I believe it is being treated as such, and it should be treated with real non-partisanship. In Ghana we say, Bili akenamo.
Akebili namo.
In other words, even your worst enemy, you don't wish death for him.
Sure.
And what about people who are friends? We are all Ghanaians. So really, it's a national loss, a loss for everybody. I'm really saddened. I knew the 2 ministers quite well, and particularly Murtala Mohammed, fine member of Parliament, very, very assertive in his debates, and he's a man who researches. A parliamentarian must research. You must be somebody who enjoys reading, finding out. you cannot talk rumor in Parliament.
That's right.
You must talk fact. In other words, especially to make impact. And he impressed me as one of such characters. He was in Parliament before, he hesitated, and then he came back, all showing resilience in his quest for political career. I have high regard for him. Dr. Amanibu Ama was a very, very smart young man, dedicated. His knowledge about ICT is worthy of mention. You won't believe that a person who is of the medical
Profession
and background will be so adept in the computer.
Sure.
But he was very, very good at ICT, and he pursued it in whatever he was doing, particularly with regard to matters relating to electoral statistics and data. And these are men who, therefore, having dedicated themselves to public service, I mean, they've just started. They should not have been cut away so soon.
Prof, so as a former Speaker of Parliament and as a statesman of your caliber, has such a thing ever happened to Ghana?
No, this one is unprecedented.
Oh.
We've had a few issues, some plane crash or emergency landing here, but it was filled with men in harness. I would say in harness, men who were serving the nation in active manner, including both sides. I know that young man who is a flight officer, and his father is a Baptist preacher with me, a colleague as a Baptist preacher. Okay. Naturally, I feel personally bad and sad about it. I've been rooted at home this period, and it is not an amusing time at all for all of us over here.
So, Prof, we want to use this situation at hand at the moment to look a bit into our national development generally. What do you think, in your view, Prof, should leadership do at this very moment that such a disaster has befallen us?
Well, as for introspection, as for self-examination, as at looking inwardly and seeing whether all your arrangements are correct or apt or appropriate, it is something that we should be doing. There's a good saying that the unexamined life is not worth living.
Exactly.
And of course, I've heard the government saying there are going to be high-powered inquiries into this. We are all expecting it. So it shows that the relevant authorities are mindful of the fact that they need to do some serious examination of how this went, how this happened. And I will encourage people not to presume anything. Therefore, all the speculations, I believe, should stop. If you have any useful assistance to give or information to share, I think it must go to the appropriate place.
That's right.
Because when you start speculation, some of the speculation can be offensive or destructive.
Right.
In fact, even distract us from what should have been the right path. So if you have something to say, I don't have anything to say because I don't understand the dynamics of aeronautics. But those who have, I believe, should all assist in that direction so that we know what actually are the causative factors, because nothing comes without a cause. That one is very true.
That's right.
Nothing happens without a cause. So there must be a cause.
That's right.
And such a national disaster, which I will say is unprecedented.
Unprecedented, Prof.
Must be treated with the very seriousness that it deserves.
That's right.
So we must seriously go into the matter, even if it means bringing some experts, especially from the country of manufacture, which I'm told is China. In this regard. Very often you'll find that those who manufacture come to assist with such an investigation as well. But of course, I know that the relevant authorities know these things.
Yes, right.
So they will marshal the appropriate persons and institutions to do very thorough investigation on this matter, because it is terrible.
Prof, this show is Volunteers TV show, where we promote nationalism, we promote active citizenship, patriotism, volunteerism, love for nation. All these people who have unfortunately lost their lives were on a national assignment. And many young people out there are worried. Many young people out there are carefully watching what the aftermath of this will be, where they will ask themselves whether it is worth dying for this nation. It is worth committing to serving this nation. As a senior statesman, what are some of the encouraging words you can give out there to our young folks to take a clue from in this kind of situation that has happened to us?
They should not be discouraged. Many senior people have traveled on this very plane to and fro. You could die also by road. The important thing is national service. Many soldiers, whether in the Congo or in other places and in Ghana, have died working for Ghana. We remember very well the story of Major Mahama.
Exactly.
He was killed because of Galamsey.
That's right. That's very true, Prof.
This Galamsey menace should be tackled and wiped away before it really does even more damage to this country. But some people must do it. So a young man must still go to the Air Force, because Ghana must have an Air Force. A young woman who feels like that must still not be discouraged.
Right.
Go to the Air Force. Because many people, Sati Ajete and others, were shot at the castle protesting against the British government.
Exactly.
And you know very well that it triggered our independence. So as for life that can be lost in national service, it happens.
It happens. It happens.
I remember one day when this matter occurred, I remember one day when I took a very dangerous trip to Nigeria and back when I was energy minister.
Okay.
There was a time when General Obasanjo told our president, President Kufuor, that the crude they were offering us on very favorable terms and also on credit had become a subject of discussion in their country.
In terms of its quality?
No, not the quality. In terms of the favor that Nigeria was doing Ghana.
Okay.
In fact, the Obasanjo way was not named after him for nothing. At one time, they helped us by way of the cyclical movement of crude to this country, where the oil refinery was seriously working on these things to enable Ghana to have petrol regularly. But you see, some people also felt we were being favored too much. So there were criticisms in his own country.
I see.
So he said, look, you better get somebody to come and talk to my people. So I had to go to Nigeria suddenly. And I went on one of these small planes. When we were, it was a successful trip. But when we were returning, there was a time when I thought the end of the world had come.
Turmoil?
Real turmoil. And at one time, I was wondering whether the plane was flying backwards or forwards. And it was tossing all over. Small planes, they can be difficult. And so on and so forth. When I got home, I told my wife, who was a retired soldier, that look, the way I've been treated today, I thought I would see you again. You know? And that thing is a real picture of my mind.
But that did not stop you from continuing doing what you must do.
Oh, that is it.
That's right.
You see? Because that day I had to go. I didn't choose what time to go. I didn't choose which plane to fly. I didn't choose anything. But
sudden national call.
Exactly. When they said you should go, and the plane available, I just had to go to Air Force Station and go. You see, so this is so I can really identify myself with them, because actually I thought that was my end, you know, at one point. I sympathize really with them.
So, Prof, as a former Speaker of Parliament, for this to have happened to us, where out of the 8, 1 is a sitting member of Parliament,
Yes.
What appropriately, ideally, should be the immediate action that the Parliament of Ghana needs to take in situations such as this?
Normally, in a situation like that, a formal announcement we made to the Speaker.
Okay.
And then, when he has ascertained that really the event is true, the person is dead, or whatever the calamity may be, he will formally announce it in the chamber.
Okay.
And express his own sorrow with regard to the event. After that, the leaders respond to what he has said.
From both sides?
From both sides.
Okay.
Minority leader, majority leader. And then a number of members of parliament will make contributions.
Okay.
You know, thereafter, the leadership will summarize. The Speaker will give 1 minute silence by way of honoring them, who will rise. The Speaker normally doesn't rise in the House. He doesn't stand up.
That's right.
When talking.
That's right.
When he stands up, it means trouble has come. Because when he stands up, it means the House is even going to stop sitting if you don't take care.
Oh.
So he sits, but on that occasion he stands. He or she stands.
I see.
To take part in the 1 minute silence.
Wow.
As a sign of respect to the person. And then he or she may end by saying, may his soul and the souls of the faithful departed rest in perfect peace.
Wow.
And we all bow and we sit down.
Wow.
And then we continue with the business. So they will be eulogized. And I trust that at the earliest opportunity, this will be done and then recorded in Hansard. Because it is deserving of them.
Prof, in this situation, how do you think, or what do you think will be the best way in managing the families of these deceased?
Yeah. First and foremost, there's one aspect of management which is giving them solace, comforting them, giving them shoulders to cry upon, so that they will get rid of this. In fact, the young man who is a flight officer,
That's right,
got married a few months ago.
not long ago, yes.
Can you imagine? A young wife. Naturally, she will wonder what hit her and what the world is going to be. So, elderly people, including priests and pastors, are very, 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 very much involved in such things normally. And I think by this time, this is being done. then of course, it is very, very comforting to know what really killed your loved one.
Mm.
So they must investigate like it's going to be done,
Mhm.
and then they will know what went amiss.
That's right. That's right.
Then, of course, compensation, which I know appropriate people are mindful of,
Mm. Mm.
will give them compensation
Mm.
because, after all, they were on national service.
That's it.
They were on a national carrier.
That's right.
The carrier, they were being carried
Mm.
by a national machine.
That's it.
So that national carrier, having been involved in an accident, appropriate compensation must be paid. Normally, you wouldn't want this to be contentious. Otherwise, it doesn't look decent. You know very well what has happened to the people. So you yourself contact them, make an offer which is reasonable, a commodious offer
Mm.
that they can accommodate. And then you settle them very much so.
Mm. That, of course, wouldn't bring back their loved ones, but at least
Oh, yes.
that should.
Children must still go to school.
That's right. Mm.
So that what they would have done if they were alive, the state will make provision for that to happen as a compensation. But of course, it cannot be an alternative for what has happened. And when that happens, they just also manage to go on with their lives as much as possible. And of course, always there's the need, I believe, on an occasion like this, to have a remembrance established for them.
Oh.
Because it's a colossal event.
That's right. That's right.
It is. Just like they have done for the judges in front of the Supreme Court.
Mm.
I believe there might be something like that somewhere in remembrance of this national disaster.
Prof, you've mentioned a number of things, a number of actions that can be taken in managing this whole situation. We are on the Volunteers TV show. What are some practical actions, activities that you think volunteerism will play in this situation that has befallen us as a nation?
As a nation, and this is done very often in advanced countries, they face more disasters than we do, you know. Volunteers may be individuals.
Good.
Volunteers may be groups,
associations,
churches, whatever, who feel strongly about something. That is one category of people. Of course, government. When the thing becomes a public issue, government take the initiative. But government should not be the end.
That's right.
The spirit of volunteerism must always work in a society. After all, it shows love, it shows oneness. And I think when such love is shown in this manner at a time like this, it is very encouraging and it helps the unification process.
Before we come to your final words, we all know that one thing that unites us so much as a people is sports. Football. When there is football, you see all Ghanaians, irrespective of political color, come together to support the nation. Can this situation we find ourselves in now play that role of bringing us together as one people, devoid of political colors, in granting these loved ones of ours a befitting burial?
I think so. I believe in Ghanaians, you know. It's not any big deal at all. You know, when we attend funerals, people from different political persuasions, sharing drink, sharing food, participating in the process. Because after all, let's face it, there are homes where brothers belong to different political parties.
Precisely.
There are many homes like that.
Yes.
They don't meet in their homes. They do meet, and they attend funerals together, and so on and so forth. Like I said, the CD doesn't know political party. And now, no matter what party you belong to, when a particular party wins, you are going to live under that party in the same Ghana. You are not going to go and live in Burkina for 4 years.
You remain in Ghana.
After that, you come and continue living in Ghana. Yeah, you live here.
Exactly.
With time, it may change to another direction. Fine. So we must, I think, in a moment of tragedy, we must remember that we are one. We must remember that we must love each other. We must remember that let it not be as if when it is hanging on your brother's dress, then it is hanging on the wood. But when it is you, then it's human flesh. No. And I believe all these things, when properly looked at, will make us stop: 1, the hatred; 2, the vengeance, as well as the retaliations. Because at any given time, some people are also making recordings what they will do to others when they come to time, because of what others are doing to them in a particular day. So let us all be rather reconciliatory. This is why I would like to sound a word of caution for opposition and for government and for everybody.
Awesome. Prof, in bringing our conversation to a close on this matter of the loss to Ghana, what will be your final words to the President of the Republic of Ghana, the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, the families of the deceased, and to Ghanaians in general?
I want to express my very deep condolences to His Excellency the President. I feel for him. But Mr. President, take heart. It's all in the call of duty. Many people die on the war front. And if you read some of the accounts of the world wars and other wars and so on and so forth, you bury a colleague right there after saying a prayer and then move on. So the cabinet, a colleague, as well as the party, political party, of course, they are close comrades, also pursuing their political activities. All these people, I wish them really well and extend my sympathies to them, as well as the whole of the people of Ghana, as we are in a state of mourning and flags are flying, have marks, and so on and so forth. At the end of it all, we shall recover. We will remember them, of course, and Ghana will still move on by His grace.
Wow. Viewers, we've been talking to Professor Aaron Mike Oquaye, an astute barrister, former Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, a statesman for that matter. You've all heard the words of caution to us as a people, not to politicize what has happened to us, but mourn together as one people. Prof, thank you very much.
Thank you too.
For making time with us on Volunteers TV show. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.